Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. The Big Mac, the Big Cheeseburger, the 330-pound plus man Jarrell Miller, unbeaten heavyweight. He's going to make a raid on London, having been added to the Sky Sports commentary team for the Dillian Whyte and Joseph Parker fight. So the unbeaten American, he'll also be at all the major fight week activities. And perhaps I should actually say there, should we expect him to be part of the activities? Because I think we all know he's going to kick off at some point. And given the mega hoopla that surrounded Miller's now infamous confrontation with Anthony Joshua at the DAZN USA launch, this announcement of joining the commentary team, perhaps it should come as no surprise, because I do believe it's part of a broader strategy to build Miller's name, build his reputation, the awareness of who this guy is. But more on that and what he may bring to the commentary side of the game a bit later on. So first though, I'll get to the quote. So Miller, he told Sky Sports, "I'm a student of the game and keep a close eye on the heavyweight division. Dillian Whyte vs Joseph Parker is a great, significant matchup. I look forward to giving the boxing fans watching Sky Sports a detailed view from my perspective on their physical and mental preparations for this exciting fight. See you ringside." And the story, it later quotes Adam Smith from Sky Sports Boxing as saying, "We're very excited that Jarrell Big Baby Miller is joining the Sky team next week for the build-up to the thrilling heavyweight showdown between Dillian Whyte and Joseph Parker. He will be at all the major media events and will join us ringside on the night. You don't want to miss him. We've welcomed Paulie and Deontay in similar roles before, and we believe Jarrell will be a fascinating and modern addition to our excellent team of analysts. He has huge charisma, strong opinions, and is obviously an enticing and very lively member of the new heavyweight brigade." Okay, so that was Adam Smith there from the Sky Sports story. Before that, we had Jarrell Miller's quotes. Okay, first off, I will be really interested to see what can Miller bring to the table as a pundit, because it's not really a side of him that we've seen before. Generally, if he is making a comment about a fight, it's generally laden with criticism. He posts something on social media and is mocking, whoever won the fight or whatever, and, is big-upping himself. So he won't be able to just, in this commentary role, talk smack and make it all about himself, because that's not the job. They want Miller to add some insights. They want him to be able to relay certain things that he knows the fighters are experiencing, that the fighters have gone through, because he's gone through them himself. He knows it's a very personal experience. He can give some of that insight to the fans. That's the value add that he can bring in this situation. And when Deontay Wilder did his stint in the chair previously, he actually proved to be quite good at it. He was able to strip away that sort of usual bravado and sort of all that carry-on that he displays in the media, on social media. He was able to sort of give sound opinions, good anecdotes, and overall he came across very well. The question is, can Jarrell Miller do the same? Can he dial back what he's actually been admitting publicly is essentially a persona he's been sort of putting across that's designed to get him ahead in boxing? Because if he does make it all about himself, how great he is, etc., and how he's going to be taking over, that sort of rhetoric, the stuff that he peddles on social media, then it could be uber cringeworthy. But I have no doubt he's been told what this role entails, what's expected, what's not, and he's probably also been told there will be a don't come Monday if he goes off the reservation, goes rogue, and disrupts the carefully planned broadcast. So I am expecting he's going to adapt to the role that he's been asked to do. And like Wilder, it's going to be interesting to hear his unvarnished opinion on things as the fight's unfolding, his analysis pre- and post-fight, and some of the things that he really wants to tell viewers about himself, his career, and where he's going. That sort of more honest opinion of himself. And when I say honest opinion of himself, I'm meaning not the sort of over-the-top BS that you hear in quotes on social media, that sort of thing. He's going to have a bit of a platform to be a bit more intimate with the public. And a lot of these people who are watching won't know Jarrell Miller, won't have been following his career, won't know much about him at all. So he can probably get some real messages across to try connect with people here. And don't forget, this role he's going to do, it is a sales pitch. It's part of a broader strategy to sell Miller to the public. A public which I just mentioned largely probably doesn't know who he is beyond perhaps his recent confrontation with Joshua. So I really see this as it's another building block to market Miller, market his credentials as a contender, and that he could be a future opponent for the winner of the Parker and Whyte fight, or, of course, Anthony Joshua. And there are a few things, of course, that are going to need to go his way if he is to get an Anthony Joshua fight anytime soon. So if it was to be for April, he'd need Joshua to beat Povetkin. He'd need a Deontay Wilder fight with Joshua for April to fall over, and another potential Joshua opponent in Whyte, and another potential Anthony Joshua opponent in Dillian Whyte. He needs to lose to Joseph Parker on July 28th to sort of take him out of the equation for now. But make no mistake, the wheels are in motion to have Miller positioned as a dangerous contender in waiting. If not for April, for after that, at some point. Eddie Hearn, Joshua's promoter, he needs to be building potential future opponents for Joshua to face, because that's only going to help build an eventual fight for all involved to make more money. We've seen it with Deontay Wilder before. He's done his commentary stint. You can't just say that was random and out of the blue. They brought him over for a purpose, helped build his profile, and clearly we've seen more profile building in 2018. And among hardcore fans right now, Miller's credentials for a title shot, hotly debated, because what he's been doing is largely fighting a string of beatable fringe contenders, and those contenders have largely seen better days, but they do have some name recognition by way of being former title contenders. So it's easy to see what he's doing. He's treading water right now until he gets a title shot. And that's not just limited to an Anthony Joshua fight, because there's a lot of things that would have to happen for that to happen after the Povetkin fight. Miller is currently waiting for a shot at the WBA regular title holder, Manuel Charr. And Charr is going to be defending his belt against a 45-year-old Fraser Kendo in September. And that fight's only happening because Kendo took legal action. He is owed a shot at a belt. So that's why he's in this position. He hasn't fought since 2014. So Charr should get past him. And then Miller, he will be the mandatory to Charr. Well, this is what we're hearing. So Miller, he's waiting for a shot at that belt or potentially any other belt. And we have to consider in all this with Miller. Miller is now fighting on the DAZN USA platform for Eddie Hearn. The English promoter, he has a vested interest in building Miller in a promotional sense. And I know a lot of people are getting wedded to the idea that it's solely for a Joshua fight. But it has to be broader than that. It's a case of Hearn just has to build his name full stop for any fight. And right now you might say, well, he's a B-level boxing star. Fans, well, they like him well enough, but he hasn't entered the big leagues in terms of support. He doesn't have a massive fan base. He doesn't really have a lot of rabid fans that are supporting him. So if Hearn can promote him well, he could help turn him into a star of sorts that not only boxing fans know. After all, the building blocks for Jarrell Miller are there. He's charismatic, larger-than-life personality, so he should be able to be, marketable to some degree. If Hearn can work a little bit of magic, a lot more people will start to know who Jarrell Miller is. But the in-ring performances, they also have to flow through as well. And with that in mind, it's easy to see why they're looking to match Miller with another former title contender, Artur Szpilka, for October. They want to pit him against someone that they're confident that Miller can beat, and also probably knock out. And Szpilka, he has been stopped a few times before. And it would have also continued that trend of adding a name that gives some credibility, given his previous title contention. He fought Deontay Wilder a couple of years ago. But, that opponent, Szpilka, he does appear, for now at least, to be off the table. Szpilka reportedly looking to fight Mariusz Wach later in the year, sort of a back end of the year. But, that could also be Szpilka holding out for more money. We'll have to see on that front. But I don't expect Hearn to allow Miller or his promoters, because Miller is signed to Dimitri Salita and Greg Cohen. I don't expect anyone involved with Miller's career to be allowing Miller to take any unnecessary chances before he's guaranteed a title shot of some description, even if that shot is for a secondary title like the WBA regular belt. That, after all, that strap, that can be used as a marketing, or promotional chip of some kind. So I would be expecting to hear a lot more about Jarrell Miller now that he's officially connected with Eddie Hearn and this DAZN platform that Hearn is heavily involved with. I mean, don't for a minute believe Miller when he tries to claim whatever he's doing just now, it's all him, and that it's just happening off the cuff. He just happens to be having all this good luck and getting all these headlines out of nowhere. The DAZN thing with Joshua, it was allowed to happen. Miller was within spitting distance of Joshua when he was doing the face-off with Povetkin. And anyone following the heavyweight division will know that Miller's been waiting for a chance to get in Joshua's face. That incident, while Joshua may not have been aware something was going to happen, was always going to happen, and it was allowed to happen. And now we've got him joining the Sky commentary team. It is part of a broader strategy. There's structure, there's purpose behind what's happening, what he's doing now, and how he is being built up. Expect more of it. So it does make me wonder also, what is going to happen in Fight Week for Joseph Parker and Dillian Whyte? Miller, as we're hearing, he's going to be at the major events, which means, press conference, weigh-in, etc. And the fact that they've telegraphed that he's going to be on hand, to me that feels like almost a signal that something is going to happen. We know he's going to be there. He's a big character. He likes to cause a scene. I'm expecting him to do so. It'd be more shocking if he didn't. My pick is, though, he will go after Dillian Whyte, the Matchroom fighter, at one of the press conferences. And Whyte himself, also a big personality, a big trash talker, and someone who's not likely to hold back if Miller tries to get into a verbal exchange with him. So don't be surprised if he makes his presence felt. After all, it will lead to more headlines, more coverage for him, and that in the end is good for him, his profile, it's good for Eddie Hearn, regardless of who the next opponent is. They're building him up now. Just expect more of this from now on. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.